All right, good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Kenton Wakes Up. I'm Dr. Kenton. In the cup today is Starbucks Pike's Place roast or blend. Claims that there's hints of cocoa and uh, rich Pauline. Well, it certainly tastes good. I uh, I had sworn off buying Starbucks coffee, and maybe the issue is Starbucks coffee at the grocery store. Go into a Starbucks store and you might actually surprise yourself how delicious. It's tasty. It's got Coffeemate in there. That's my favorite way. Today's Monday, April 14th, 2025. And if you happen to be related to me and it's your birthday today, happy birthday. I'll reach out after this is over. I got up early today. Thought struck me about a project I've been working on for a couple of years. I'd like to finish it. It was, I grew up in a town in South Dakota called Mitchell. And if you've ever been to the Corn Palace, you've been to Mitchell. Uh, around the, what was it? Around the time of the city's foundation, which was 1881, a guy named James E. Fraser lived there with his parents. I don't think he had a brother or sister at that point. No, he did have a sister. Comes clear later that he has a sister. Anyway, you may not know him by name, but you probably know him by his work. Um, if you've ever seen the sculpture called the End of the Trail, or the face, the obverse of the Indian head or buffalo nickel, he did the Indian head. He was also, I believe, the Bronze Star. I'm gonna get it wrong. He did a lot of sculpture work in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And several of his statues are on permanent display places. Well, it struck me that there's a story to be told about James E. Fraser himself and also of the things that I discovered, happened upon while trying to, it's like the John Lennon quote, life is what happens while you're making other plans. That I had wanted to find a um, a picture or a sketch of one or two of the things that he mentions in a letter that was published in spring of 2023. James Fraser became friends with a professor who was at the time it was Wesleyan University in Mitchell, South Dakota. Now it's called Dakota Wesleyan. The letter led to Fraser donating some works to the museum, among them two larger than life statues, one of Meriwether Lewis and the other of William Clark. And in his letter that was republished, uh, he mentions a couple of other works, and I wanted to see what they look like. So I started looking for James Fraser stuff, and it turns out that James Fraser's papers, or some of them, are included in the Smithsonian Institution. So I tracked those down and requested the microfiche, paid whatever amount, and they came as two. I think they were probably 800 plus meg PDFs. And in there, in the description from the Smithsonian, it mentioned there's a manuscript in there called Indian Prairie. And I don't know that anybody knows about this thing. So, anyway, I put it upon myself to try and transcribe this thing. It's 60 odd pages of anecdotes. They're they're not really, they're loosely organized. I would say an editor would probably reorder a few of them. That's not my job. What I did was I took the PDFs that contained photographs of onion skin paper that have been typed on, and they include, I don't know, probably 100 anecdotes that Fraser remembered of his life in Dakota Territory and then South Dakota later. The fact, the reasons why he lived in South Dakota, his conditions while living in South Dakota, lived sometimes in a boxcar on the railroad. And then his family bought some land and they developed it into a ranch and so forth. It's pretty interesting. But the part that felt to me like it was necessary was to transcribe this thing and share it out to interested parties. So I'm gonna, once I run through it one more time to remove any artifacts of the OCR process, and that it's all um, included. It's an interesting thing. It's numbered. Each page is numbered from 1 to page 64. But it appears pages 58 through 61 are missing. But when you look at the end of page 57 and the beginning of page 61, it's largely an overlap. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know why some of that stuff would be gone or missing or left out or whatever. I don't blame anybody. It just maybe just somebody put the wrong numbers on the tops pages. I don't know. So that's something I need to finish up here. Um, anyway, another place. Um, the Frasers also gave some of their papers to Syracuse University. I don't know why. Maybe his wife went there to school or some other reason. Um, I have not reached out to them. It's been on this project for 2 years already. I think I'd like to finish this one part before I start digging into the rest. As an aside, I never did find the the sketches that I was looking for. One was called The Sheriff. The other one is called The Pioneer, I think. Anyway, it's mentioned in the letter that was republished, and I wanted to see it. And then there's also in the manuscript, there's some other works that he says he either sketched or did. And I just was curious if those pictures of those were available. And then, of course, there was a exhibition in San Francisco. I want to say 1905. Uh, there was the end of the trail, and also there was another one by a different artist called I don't remember. It's kind of a India. The Indians reached the Pacific Ocean and collapsed in defeat, and the Americans reached the Pacific Ocean in some sort of exultation, like they had made it, and the Indians were feeling like there's no else for us to go. So anyway, that's what got me up this morning early. It's not even 10 past 7 yet. All right, so today is the 14th of April, as I mentioned. That's that's the second day of April teenth. Let's get the April teenth notes. Today is Monday. That's an opportunity to be kind to yourself today. And the 14th is, which personal management system would you like to focus on before the next teenth? I've got a couple of things to think about there. I realized that many of the podcasts I listen to are they're not. I thought at first that they were about being informed, but largely what they have become is me being enticed into further consumption of things that I don't really need. So I'm going to try and figure on that for a while. I like listening to the podcasts, they're entertaining and informative, but I don't need to buy the stuff that I'm encouraged to buy. So, got to find something else. Other podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts. There just aren't that many good podcasts. A lot of podcasts about trivia. Not a lot of them are very high quality. So, anyway, I hope you have a great Monday and remember to think about your organizational systems today while being kind to yourself. Love you. Bye.